All right, guys, welcome back. So this is going to be potentially a massive week, not only for Xbox, but for the entire gaming industry, as it looks like Microsoft is looking to close the deal by Friday. So by October 13th, lucky Friday the 13th, Xbox is looking to close the deal, and Activision, Blizzard, King will be a part of Xbox, a part of their first parties, and then we will start to be able to see what they're going to be doing with these games in terms of Xbox Game Pass. How are they going to be releasing them? Are we going to get a huge drop of games, a massive announcement of the back catalog of games? We've seen a lot of stuff here with Xbox has been doing with the older Call of Duty games, putting them on sale and making the servers work again. And people have been jumping in and playing the classic CODs, which has been awesome to see. I've jumped in and it's been a lot of fun. We've also seen kind of a hint at them already preparing the back end servers when people were looking on the Microsoft store at the old Call of Duty games, and it's saying that the game was a part of the Xbox Game Pass subscription. And they're getting ready to close. We have this report here from The Verge saying Microsoft eyes closing its giant Activision Blizzard deal next week. Now, this comes via a source familiar with Microsoft's plans, telling The Verge that the company is looking for it to be Friday, October 13th. And this would put an end to the 20-month, almost 2-year process to buy this thing, to buy Activision Blizzard. We've been through everything on this channel, and we've gone through the documents from court, Sony's responses, third-party responses, Microsoft's response, all the hack documents that came out. It's been just a wild ride over the last 2 years talking about this thing, and I'm very, very excited for it to finally be over and then focusing again on what's going to be happening from the Xbox side of things and how they're going to be bringing out the games. Now, officially, they have until October 18th. That's the deadline to close it. So the 13th could come and go, and they would still be able to close this thing. And this report may not be 100% accurate. I mean, things do change, as we've seen multiple times throughout this case. Like, I don't think that many people even expected that any of these regulators, like the CMA, would go out there and block the deal, and they did. Now, it says here, that date will still depend on the UK's Competition and Markets Authority, though, a regulator that blocked Microsoft's deal earlier this year. Microsoft recently restructured the deal to transfer cloud gaming rights from current and new Activision Blizzard games to Ubisoft. So that was a major thing to get this thing to allow Xbox to close the deal across all of the different parts of the world, across all of the regulators. They went ahead and they added this new remedy, submitting it to the CMA during the appeals process to put the appeals process on hold, that they would be transferring the cloud streaming rights to Ubisoft, who can choose where they're going to be sending out these Activision Blizzard games and what cloud streaming platforms they are going to be available on, which in general is going to be really no difference for anybody out there in the Xbox ecosystem who has Xbox Game Pass and Xbox Cloud Gaming. This part of the deal is not going to affect whether those games are playable there. I think it's just going to make the games playable in more places and more access to everybody, depending whatever cloud streaming service that they want to use. And this was a huge thing that the CMA kept saying, that Xbox could eventually utilize their power as the leader in cloud gaming and withhold these Activision Blizzard games that are extremely popular. I mean, Call of Duty, the best-selling game every year, and withhold them from other cloud streaming platforms and make it very hard for them to be able to compete with Xbox Cloud Gaming, especially new ones that are trying to get in to the cloud streaming industry. So that's going to solve all those problems, and everybody's happy. As we know, Xbox bought this deal for mobile gaming, and we are truly seeing that before our eyes in the last couple of weeks, how hard it is right now in the gaming industry, especially for AAA publishers, with the amount of firings or people getting laid off, the games getting canceled, just the downsizing, it seems like, within the industry. And one way to offset how expensive it's getting to make big AAA games is to have other styles of games to complement the games as a service stuff with the recurring revenue, and then mobile games, which I would assume cost significantly less to develop than those big AAA games where there's a lot more resources and a lot more people working on them. So that's probably where Microsoft is looking at this and Xbox is looking at this. If they want to continue to be able to compete at a high level, they're going to have a hand in every single pot of gaming: mobile, cloud, big AAA console stuff, and just all the different genres out there, subscription. They're going to have that. And this is what this is going to help them do with the mobile side of the gaming. It says here the CMA has a deadline that expires today on gathering opinions over whether it should grant consent to Microsoft to proceed with the merger. So as we know, they offered that new deal and then they still asked third parties what they thought. And I'm assuming there's probably not going to be too much pushback this time. And the CMA is going to be coming to their final decision, which is expected next week. So that's why they're thinking they're going to be able to close this on the 13th, because the CMA is going to be able to come up with their final decision, unless, again, something out there holds up this entire process. So I think we are actually officially getting to the end. And one of the most interesting and funny things when it comes to this entire deal was that whole talk about PlayStation being afraid that Xbox was going to withhold certain parts of Call of Duty, not give the same game, withhold features and content from the Call of Duty on PlayStation, and utilize that to attract PlayStation gamers over to the Xbox platform. And that was one of the most hypocritical things throughout this entire process, because as we know, with Call of Duty's previous ones, and even current one in the upcoming one, Modern Warfare 3, PlayStation does this and they continue to do this. So as you know, it was complete hypocrisy, especially as well because that Jim Ryan's emails were shown where he even said him trying to block this deal was not about Call of Duty. He doesn't think that Xbox will withhold the game. He just really wanted to block the deal. But we do have this here, and this is for the upcoming Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, which officially will be a first-party Xbox game when it does release later this year, because this deal will be closed. And one of the things that PlayStation does every year is there's extra content for the PlayStation gamers that isn't available on Xbox. And here we are again, as this was announced, that PS4 and PS5 owners, so obviously excluding the Xbox owners, who pre-order Modern Warfare 3 through the PlayStation Store, in particular, through the PlayStation Store, will receive the Lockpick Operator Pack when the game is released on November 10th, 2023. And they also say here that with the light fingers but a hard fist, Elodie Lockpick Michaud is a cunning art thief with noble motivations and an exciting new operator to come to Modern Warfare. And this is the Lockpick Operator trailer and everything. So there's an entire operator that is going to be exclusive to PlayStation that is not going to be on Xbox. And this was a huge thing that they did talk about, saying that Xbox was going to do these types of things, and they've been doing it for multiple versions of Call of Duty. But this should be the end of it. This should be the end of this exclusive content to a single platform. Xbox, more likely than not, I mean, I don't even think they can now with the current deal that they did sign, will not be doing this with the future iterations for Call of Duty. And I honestly think that's a good thing, no matter what side of the console war that you are on, if you're in the console wars at all. I think it's a good thing that they stop with this locking content behind a platform, because it just splits the player base. It isn't good for the entire community of people who are in Call of Duty, who play Call of Duty. Now, going forward after Modern Warfare 3, we aren't going to be seeing that. And that's just, to me, another positive and an advantage that Xbox is buying Activision Blizzard to get rid of this type of stuff here and just continue to provide the same game across all platforms, have a huge community, everybody playing the same thing. And Xbox knows that you don't need to withhold stuff like this in order to get a leg up. They're going to be making a ton of money off this game, no matter what platform that it is on. The big advantage that I see in the future for Xbox players is Game Pass. I mean, that's it. That's the incentive is there. They just have to put the game out, put it into Game Pass, and people will realize that, hey, you sign up to the subscription service, you get Call of Duty every single year, plus you get access to all their first-party content and all the other great games that they do have within the service. So this thing is coming to an end, and it's pretty exciting that we're going to start seeing what this means for the Xbox platform in particular, and for Xbox Game Pass specifically. But I'm going to end the video there, guys. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up. If you are new here, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.
Bye.